Question: did Corey go too far, or is all fair in love and war? Y'all know me on this channel. I'm gonna bring a balanced perspective. We're gonna talk about the response Corey gave and Anton's response on a day-to-day social level, but we also gonna cover the legal consequences of this. So what I want y'all to do is get ready. Give me like 90 seconds to clear up a few more things on the backside, and we are going to get started. You dig? All right, we back. Yeah, we back. We back. So let's get it in. First off, boy, I told y'all how this shit gotta work out, didn't I? I said for Corey to change the narrative, he's going to have to go to jokes. And in two jokes, Corey went there, all the way there. And if you did not watch last night's 5150, tune in. 5150 last night was so goddamn funny. Oh my God, it was funny. I mean, I laughed so hard. I laughed so damn hard. So, I also laughed at some of the stuff Craig said too. When Craig called Anton Daniels Mandis Owens but on top of the funny, Corey went for Anton's family, namely his wife and his daughter. And Anton made a video this morning, Cop and Please. And we're going to go through and we're going to review Anton's video he did this morning with him Cop and Please. But the question is all fair in love and war? See, a lot of people, see, this is the thing about it. Fuck around and find out. Yeah, Cortez FBI, I just saw you. You said that right when I was about to say it. Fuck around and find out. This is why you don't start war. This is why you don't start war. In war, all gloves are off. All of this honoring civility in war, no. Look at Israel right now. They bombing churches, schools, mosques. They don't give a damn. If it's in Palestine, boof. Anton Daniels, see, Anton Daniels is this dude that don't want to talk about race. All right, cool. If you don't want to talk about race, that means you never studied war, the history and war, especially war within the United States of America. Morally, yes, children are off limits morally. But war is immoral. It is totally off base and off kilter to expect morality in an immoral environment, however you pronounce it. And I'm someone, I stay away from talking about kids personally and people's families. But also, I've never been approached with war. If I'm approached with war, I probably do the same thing. No lie. Don't let this intellectual shit fool you. I have no problem going to the gutter. And there is no line when you start war. All you niggas saying cross the line, stop it. There is no line in war. When you go at somebody and you go to somebody's platform to disrespect them. And that was Anton's intent. Remember, yeah, children reap the rewards of their father's sins. That's the thing. The sins of our fathers. The sins of our fathers as black people, a lot of our forefathers here in America, a lot of our fathers 200 and 300 years ago signed treaties with these people. Basically, we to this day as black Americans are atoning for the sins of our fathers. These people who signed treaties, who didn't properly defend what we had going on here in America. We suffered from the sins of our fathers in the way of Battle of Fort Negro, Andrew Jackson, when he set up a proxy war for all the men to go fight in the Seminole Wars, and he came back to what's now a Negro fort and raped and pillaged all the women and children. And then when the men got back, got them too. D Black, you goofy for coming up here talking this bullshit and not having your face on your profile. Hold on. Come on, Rocky. Come on, Rocky. Hurry up. This is why you don't start war with people. All bets are off in war, no matter how you feel about it. For every action, there's equal and opposite reaction. And in war, you can throw it out the window. For every action, there's going to be an escalation in action. And that's just what it is, whether we like it or not. Yes, she said Corey's a deadbeat dad. Anton said he studied Corey. Well, if he had studied Corey, he'd know that Corey is very open about his relationship with his children. He'd know that Corey has talked about his own daughter in ways most fathers would never talk about their children online. You're dealing with a very reckless person in Corey Holcomb when it comes to crossing boundaries. And he's done it with his own family. Part of protection of your family is understanding the long-term consequences of your actions. That's how you protect your family. You have to understand the long-term actions of whatever action you're going to make. You started a war for online content. And you did it with somebody who has reckless speech with his own family. This man, Corey Holcomb, has talked about people's mama. He done called Cap on some of his coolest comic friends right there live on the show. He said what he said, although they made up, about Zoe. So when you go to war, you have to understand who you're dealing with. You're dealing with somebody who's proven they don't mind going there with the family. Proving it. This ain't the first time Corey has gone there with family. It's not. The man talked about Charles Barkley's wife. Those are some of the funniest jokes. Not only did Anton do what he did, he went on a week-long victory journey doing, yeah, yeah, yeah. What did I say on this very show last Friday? What did I say here? Friday, I think it was Thursday or Friday. What did I say? I said my concern is for the children. Did I not say that on this very program? I said, well, Anton going around talking all this G talk, what does that? I said, no matter how I feel about the dudes politically, I don't want to see a kid have to go without their father. I don't want to see a kid sacrificed. Not that I even thought Corey would say this about his kid, but I do know in war, there's collateral damage. And this is what people got to understand. Most people live their life on what they think people should do. You live life on what your moral boundaries are. Not understanding that everybody ain't got your moral boundaries. Yeah, Yeti Black. Did I not say that? On this channel here, I said Anton needs to stop the gloating because families have to pay the consequences. Somebody said gangsters would tell you the kids off limit. Well, they lied to you. Gangsters shoot kids all the time. I've been shot at because somebody that was gangster was standing next to me. They lied to you. I was an indirect victim of a gang-on-gang shooting in 1993 at Coliseum Elementary School, 92. And somebody said, if you don't adhere to any code, you are a subhuman. The question is, Devin Lockett, which code? See, this requires people to step out their own ego and understand that everybody got different codes of ethics. And when you ask a question like that, if Anton studied his enemy the way he said he studied his enemy, you're dealing with an enemy that in his last 10 years online has seen jokes on families as well within his code of ethics and code of behavior. That's why, this is what Anton did. He studied his enemy, but he studied his angles on how he can make his enemy look bad. What Anton didn't study is what is the collateral damage of my actions. And part of understanding war is there will be collateral damage when you start shit with people. Y'all remember the old saying, don't start none, won't be none? See, what some of y'all trying to do is y'all trying to get me to say, oh no, Corey was wrong. Look, it's not my position to say if Corey was wrong or right. I'm an observer of this, and so is all you niggas. And none of y'all opinions matter. Not mine, not yours. I'm speaking as an observer. That's what I'm speaking as an observer. And I understand reality, the reality of the world isn't necessarily my reality. Me personally, I would have gone about it a whole different way than Corey. Anton Daniels provides enough jokes in his facial region for you to ever have to go to anybody outside of his cross eyes, outside of his 7 different tones of black on his face, outside of the obvious insecurities of needing to wear the monogram shirt and glasses. That's insecure vulnerability, just like on a platter. That dude is so insecure within himself. For me personally, you ain't got to talk about nobody's kids or their family because his level of insecurity matched with ugly is a lifetime of jokes within itself. But that's my sense of morality. That's my angle. I'm mature enough and smart enough to know that the world don't revolve around me, and the world's angle isn't based upon what I would do. See, a lot of y'all got real bad ego problems. You think the world needs to do what you would do. The world don't give a fuck about you. All right? Know your opinion. That's where a lot of y'all go wrong. Well, what I would have did. Don't nobody give a fuck what you would have did. Okay? Doesn't matter. That's right. Faced by Zafira, we always want to project our moral compass. And you're right. And the world don't give a fuck about your moral compass. If you're going to start something with somebody, look at theirs. I wouldn't start nothing with Corey. I've seen how far Corey has gone. I've seen how far Corey has gone with his own family. The man calls himself 5150. So this is a lesson for a lot of people out there. A lot of y'all lames out there. We grew up in this Twitch world. People in their mid-20s, under 30, under 35, grew up in a streaming world where your sense of morality got taught through DJ Academics and Kai Sanat and Aiden Ross in the streamer world. A lot of people grow up in this online world where there's no consequences for what you say. No, there are consequences for what you say. But I think this is where, and we're going to go through, right, what does 5150 mean? It's literally on the title of the show. Right, C. Diggs. So y'all can do whatever y'all want to do. Now here's where it can go bad for Corey. Anton's going to sue. And Anton's going to win. Where Corey went wrong was showing the image of the child. And when I was listening to Anton's response, which we're about to get into, I said, oh, I see what he about to do. He about to sue. Anton setting this up to where Corey's about to have to pay. Had Corey never saw the image, but Corey might have bitten off more than he can chew when it came to that. That's where Corey can lose his channel. He can get demonetized. All this can happen. So we're going to have to watch how this plays out. I hear what you're saying, Felix Speaks, but here's a mistake you're making. You put kids first before all grown people. Corey doesn't. And I get that. I get that's your morals, and that's a great moral to have. I'm closer to you, Felix Speaks, than I am to what Corey's point of view is. I'm closer to what your point of view is as far as putting kids first. From my moral compass. But my moral compass isn't the world's moral compass. And that's why you have to watch who you pick fights with. Now, Anton can sue, and Anton can win on a civil level. But the psychological effects that he put up probably aren't going to be worth whatever dollar amount he receives in return. And that's also been a major issue. See, when you're dealing with people who don't focus on race, like Anton Daniels, you make these mistakes. One thing about the black race is disrespect. We take disrespect the same way the white race takes a loss of property. And they took the chat down. But that's what you put yourself up against when you start war. That's why, go back to my saying, Don't start none. What my grandma was saying. Don't start none, won't be none. What up, Charlie? We got real Detroit in the building. Charlie Newhart. What's up, Charlie? This is Craig. This is Charlie. That's my man Charlie from Craig Facts. What's up, Charlie? We gotta talk, Charlie. It's been a minute. I'm gonna get to these super chats and then we gonna get to this. Jacoby says Anton got kicked off the 5150 show. He went on other podcasts saying he want to do something to Corey and dog walked him. That's what he said, and he said he was shaking like a stripper. Futon bought it on himself. Real talk, Jacoby. Real talk. You brought this. If you're in a fight, you can't tell the man how hard to hit you. If you want smoke, you better be ready for anything. Right. That's why along with my dad teaching me martial arts, he taught me to never use it, except for in cases of extreme self-defense. Because although you may know some things, you don't know how far that next man is willing to go. I talked about this on my show for all you Johnny come latelys who are in here because you seeing my thumbnail. You better watch. You better learn who the fuck you talking to. You talking to Dwann Brown, goddammit. I call shit before it happens. I called this last week on my show. While Anton was doing his victory lap, going around saying, look at me, I called it. I said, the consequence of this can get to your family. Stop it. Just, you got your win from your point of view, fine. Move on. You said you're going to make $1 million off of this. There's a cost. Another thing my dad always said. All money ain't good money. All money ain't good money. You can make $1 million off of it. But how much grief did you just give your family for that $1 million? Now let's listen.
Because she is an underage child. All of our children eventually will have to see how ugly the world is.
He kept saying, bringing up underage child. That let me know he about to.
Regardless of how we feel, regardless of what happens,
he about to sue.
All of our children will have to see, we'll have to see what the world is. What we as parents are supposed to do is protect them as long as possible until they have to see what the world does, right? So this is what I'm going to say. My focus right now, and then I'm going to go ahead and get into the show. My focus right now is trying to figure out the psychological damage, impact, and trauma that has been done to my daughter.
He ain't lying. He ain't lying. This will have an impact, but if you pay close attention to what he's doing, he's setting it up. This is why I say he's going to sue. He's setting it up for legal precedence. That's what he's doing right now. He's angling like a motherfucker. This dude is about to sue. That's why I want to make clear to y'all. I want to make sure y'all see that. And I was looking in Corey's cards to confirm. When I heard that, the first thing I did was I went to Corey's cards. And there go that P card of the 6 of diamonds. Lawsuits. Remember, that was Diddy's card October 3rd, 2023. Go look up the video that I said Diddy's going to be facing legal troubles. Go look up the video. October 3rd, 2000. This was the day before Diddy got arrested. Well, about 4 days before Diddy got arrested. I read his cards. I said, no, not arrested. This is when the raid happened. The six of diamonds is a card of lawsuits. Corey got lawsuits coming his way. But Anton got something far deeper to deal with than whatever money he thinks he's going to get.
I pulling her out of school.
Hey, reefer seeds. No, I'm not Mrs. Cleo. I'm Mr. Cleo. And I'm your daddy, bitch.
Um, early therapy, making sure that she is protected, trying to see what the fallout will be as far as her having to be removed from some of her competitions because of a lot of different things, including online bullying and psychological damage. Um,
That is him setting up for a lawsuit. That's him setting up for a lawsuit. That's this whole sheet's things about. Pay attention.
there's a lot of fallout from what happens to my daughter's life at because she is so accomplished. She has some of the greatest schools in the United States of America that has been seeking her out, scholarships, looking for her to join the team. She is on track to be a United States Olympian. She was supposed to be possibly in the next Olympics. And I don't know how damaging this is to her psyche. I don't know.
And that could be true. To crush your enemies, to see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women. Corey, the barbarian's mantra. Corey handles things like a damn barbarian. Like, Anton, see, when I'm watching him talk this, even though he's speaking legalese, he's still trying to play victim. You can't play victim here because you lined your family up. Look, I want y'all to take a strong look at this man. This is a man playing victim that lined his family up. You started a war. You started a war with Mark Lamont Hill. And I don't like him. But you still started a war with him. You started a war with Kenyon Martin. Anton has been starting wars. Pay attention to this chain of behavior as we got into the second half of last year. Started a war with Mark Lamont Hill. Started a war with Kenyon Martin. He's been going through starting wars. He doesn't care about the child victims when they're black. Y'all remember what the whole Carmelo Anthony situation happened with the kid that had to defend himself, stabbing that white kid? What side did Anton Daniels care about those people, those black parents' kids? Does he ever care about the kids that are victimized by the police when they're black? Chat room, am I putting extras on this? How does Anton Daniels react when there's a black child that's at the center of the news? He's one of the adults that piles on black children. He's one of the adults that if a black child is a victim of a media onslaught, he helps perpetuate said onslaught. He doesn't care about age. You're talking to a man when the shoe is on the other foot, doesn't care about age. He goes hard on black children. Now he's playing victim. I don't respect him.
Who knows? This can be a lifetime of damage. We don't know what butterfly effect things that we do to our children. And the one thing that most fathers,
You saw that? He caught himself. That was a Freudian slip. We don't know the butterfly effect of most things we do to our children. You put it out there for this to happen with somebody with a reputation of doing this. Now, it'd be different if it was Dave Chappelle don't have a reputation of going at people's kids. Martin Lawrence, Jamie Foxx, D.L. Hewley. Well, D.L. Hewley got a reputation of not protecting his, but that's another story. These people don't play out of bounds. Mark Lamont Hill, he don't do that. But you said you studied Corey. You don't have to study Corey for long to see how he talked about his own family. See, one thing about life, people, they show you their boundaries. If when his daughter was wrong, if Corey felt completely comfortable talking about it, and you started a war with that man, you can book a reading at breakthroughcards.com or join the Patreon level where we break this down even more. But you breakthroughcards.com to look up your card. If you want to know what your card is, go to breakthroughcards.com and you can scroll to the bottom and I have a graph where you can look up your birthday and it'll tell you your card.
black fathers try to do is
Y'all see that right there? He tried to jump to the black father's role. Hold on. Did this man not say when Corey asked him, he said, when Corey asked him, do you see yourself as black? He said, I'm Christian first. I'm a Christian. Y'all see how easily they slide back into blackness? See, he's sliding back into blackness because he's now playing victim. Listen to this part again.
Olympian. She was supposed to be possibly in the next Olympics. And I don't know how damaging this is to her psyche. I don't know. Who knows? This can be a lifetime of damage. We don't know what butterfly effect things that we do to our children. And the one thing that most fathers, black fathers, try to do is they try to make sure that their children are protected.
And that's true. But you don't ever say this about black fathers when you're not the victim. When Anton isn't the victim, Anton uses black people as an example for communities that don't have fathers. When it's rhetorically convenient for his program, black fathers aren't there. Black fathers need to be more present with their children. He talks nothing but bad things about black fathers until he's the victim. He said Corey's gonna learn his lesson. Hey, Corey might. We'll see. We'll see. But he see how he's playing the black father's role. Now look, watch it. He's this is why it's funny when Craig called him Mandis Owens. He's about to turn into Mandis Owens. Watch. Y'all remember when Candace Owens sued back in the day? She used the NAACP to sue for racism. This thing is about, watch. For his lawsuit he's about to have against Corey, he's about to become Black Father of the Year. Watch. This shit is a play. Hey Corey, watch out, man. Don't use them images no more. Cause the image, if Corey never used that image, he'd be fine. He'd be fine. But using the image, he's in trouble.
That want to ensure that their children are protected. Number one goal, my number one goal is to always try to figure out how I can protect my underage child.
Underage, legal term. This is a legal response. Look at his face. This nigga look greasy, don't he? Ooh, this nigga look greasy. Greasy and grimy. He looking like oh, he know what he about to do, boy. He's really playing it. Yeah, this motherfucker playing. But within the play, within the play, he's trying to play victim. Let me help y'all out, people, because people may come and say, "Oh, Dwann, you don't have kids," and that's fine. But for 15 years of my life, I was the person people with kids called when they were in situations like Anton Daniels. I got 15 professional years with the Department of Mental Health on helping children process trauma. Oftentimes, trauma that was brought on to them by the sins of their parents. I've been the one that counseled kids who've been in a high speed. I remember one case I had. The kid was in a high speed chase, and when his mom got in the car, his mom ran in front of police that was on the news, and she got in an accident, and he got flung out the window, and he had a scar, and that scar always reminded him of the chase that his mom put him in, and it was my job to deal with the trauma that the kid had the triggers, the secondary triggers that happened. I've had parents, kids who've seen their children, their parents get beat up. They dad get beat up at the liquor store because he was running his mouth. And that caused a psychological trigger on the child. I've been the one when parents have been in these situations. I can't even name that. I don't even want to begin to remember 90% of my last job. That job was very traumatic, you know? So when I say this, I say it and I'm going to pop my collar as a complete expert, because I am. I've been in court. I've been an expert witness in court. $1,500 a day. And that's actually pretty cheap. Matter of fact, that last person I was an expert witness to, I only charged them $1,500 a day. I could have got more. I found out somebody else I knew that did this shit was getting $3,500 a day for doing the same damn thing I did, being an expert witness in court. I only got $1,500 a day. But parents do things out of self-interest that children pay the consequences for. And I'm going to say my bias. I'm very biased. And my bias isn't towards Corey. My bias is towards children because I caught this last week. So I don't want to hear none of you Johnny come lately ass niggas in my chat. Because I called it last week when your bitch ass wasn't here. My first thought went to the children. Did it not, chat room? My first thing My first thought went directly to Anton's children and his family. This type of attention-seeking behavior by adults has consequences on children. Somebody said, "What did Anton do that on the show that deserves his daughter being brought up being disrespected?" He disrespected Corey's platform. He came into Corey's platform with hostility. He disrespected Corey to his face. He even said, "I did." Anton even said, "I disrespected you to your face." Anton then later on had a week-long victory lap on how he dissed Corey Holcomb. That's what he did. That's where the door was opened. That's why there's a rule, my brother. Don't start none, won't be none. Did Corey escalate it? Hell yeah, Corey escalated it. But that's why you don't start. There it is. Hell yeah, Corey escalated it. Yep, he did. That's why you don't start. There's a lesson in manhood some of you niggas gotta learn. Don't start. All is fair in war, right? For all of you people that got an issue with what Corey did, show me the war in world history, not just American history. Show me one war that's been fought on a moral stance. One. One. I can talk the way I'm talking right now because my first concern when I saw this happening was for the children. I saw this shit coming a mile away. You're watching the channel right here. Out of all the reaction videos I saw, I'm the only one that even brought up the kids last week. Question in the chat. Did y'all hear any other platform on YouTube raise concern about the children last week? Chat room. And I didn't even pull the cards out on that one. I didn't even pull the cards out on that one. Chat room. Did you find any other platform on YouTube last week that raised concern about the children? A whole bunch of no's. I was the one raising concern about the kids. And that's from experience. That's because I got 15 plus years of experience in this, man, working with kids. I've seen where this shit goes. I've seen where this goes. That's why I was saying the Anton taking the victory lap. That's where the concern was. I was very clear about where the concern was. I said Anton got it off. Take your perceived win and go off into the sunset with it. That was chat room. Was that not my recommendation? Was that not my recommendation, chat room? Was that not my recommendation? Now we're here.
My underage child. That's all I care about. I could have never imagined in 1,000 years the psychological damage and the impact, the cries that I had to hear. You know, my immediate concern was, oh my God, who do I call? But I couldn't call anybody because everything was closed at the time.
Well, I'll tell you this: if he was a real one, see, I heard what he just said. Who do I call? Because everything was closed. Do you know how many times I've gotten that call at 10 p.m.? More than I want to remember. And when I was with the Department of Mental Health, we used to have something called a crisis line, and the crisis line will be rotating, and I would get the crisis phone, and the crisis phone covered Spa 6, LA, all the Spa 6 and Spa 5. Let me show y'all. Let me show you what I'm talking about when I say a Spa map. This is the map. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you my dedication to this. Let me pull this Spa map up. That's kind of blurry. Let's see if I can find a better Spa map. This is a Spa map. And I used to get the crisis line for Spa 6 and Spa 7. That's South LA and East LA. No, I'm sorry, just Spa 6. I didn't get the Spa 7 one. I got the Spa 6 crisis line. And it was my job to be the person answering this phone line whenever a kid was in crisis. You see Spa 6, where it says 6? That's Culver City to Compton. Downtown to Paramount. This is the most crisis part. This was the most active spot in the country for trauma. This is before gentrification. This was long before gentrification. This is when Compton was still Compton. Watts kind of still is Watts. This was before the Crenshaw district got gentrified. Yeah, I'm human, motherfucker. This is a better map. And I had to be the one that got that call that Anton Daniels was looking to make last night. People don't play, people. And let's take it to the next step. You don't go after a comedian. Comedians ain't, man, take Corey out of it. Man, comedians don't give a fuck. Comedians don't give a fuck. That's why the lesson in this is don't start none, won't be none. A lot of y'all talking, and y'all never had to deal with the hell what I had to deal with when it came to children. I've been there. I'm always concerned about the kids. Because most of the time, in my experience, when the kids are in a really fucked up situation, the parents put them there. And that's what I'm trying to get over to you guys. I just can't listen to a parent like this play victim. And but the thing is, in my experience, a lot of y'all parents do this bitch ass shit. Y'all throw a circus and then cry when your kid act a clown. That's 90% of the time. Parents throwing circuses. I got an extreme issue with this. I got a personal issue with this. That's my personal bias. Parents that act a fucking ass. Parents that clown around and then play victim when the child is the collateral damage. Most of the time, children are in a traumatic situation. The parents, in some way, ushered them there. I ain't talking about when the mistakes that happen when they out there. Sometimes parents are just working real hard. The kid get up in a situation that happens too. But usually that's the kind of damage. And that's it just hit me, and that's my frustration with Anton Daniels. When we see the kids out there doing things, sometimes it's because the parents can't be there. They working 2 and 3 jobs. The parents are in a situation to where the children gotta occupy their time. Children gotta do things, and children oftentimes do things that are stupid. That's part of being a child. But Anton Daniels has made his millionaire content off looking at what black children do and saying this is black culture. Chat room, am I wrong? Is that not how he makes his money? Chat room, is that not how he makes his money? Anton makes his money pointing out the dysfunction of our children, of our youth, and saying this is a cultural problem. Chat room, am I wrong? Please help me out here. Is this not how he makes his money? See, the reason I would see what Anton Daniels would call sucking the D of black people will be saying stuff like this, giving context and consideration for their behavior. Not saying their behavior is right. Y'all know me. I'm the first one. When I see a pink-haired, ghetto-ass, ratchet motherfucker, I'm running. I spend 2 seconds around ratchet black people. That's how I keep my love for black people. Because I understand if you're around these ratchets, they'll piss you the hell off. But I understand the ratchet. I understand the ratchet as a socially engineered being of misdirection and poor education, no knowledge of self, no knowledge of culture. That's why I teach knowledge of self. That's why I teach culture. I literally function based off of the dysfunction I observed in 15 years working at the Department of Mental Health. That's why I teach the Black American Music Family Tree. That's why I created a foundation. Because my thought process was, and I said this plenty of times, if I can give black people culturally something to hold on to, for those who choose to listen, that can give them a different cultural attachment to black culture than ratchet rap music, than gay ass TV shows. Because if a child is feral and doesn't have direction, they're going to go in the direction of their environment. What's the environment? If you're black and on TV, you're either gay or you're a broken black man saying whatever the Democrats want or Republicans, or you're violent. You're 50 Cent. You tough guy. So my life's work, and y'all see my page here. My page proves it. Happy, rest in peace to the great legends. I'm telling you guys about Granville T. Woods. I'm always talking about the greatness of black culture because hopefully a 0.5% of what I say seeps into the mind of one person. That's my goal. That hopefully one or two people hear this information that they haven't been given, and that gives them a cultural confidence. That gives them a confidence within yourself. This is how I function. And it's people like Anton Daniels that are diametrically opposed to people like me. He takes black culture and uses it as an example as to what's wrong with us, which then perpetuates the negative stereotypes of us, which then perpetuates the lowered confidence of us. It all works hand in hand. How much psychological damage has he given? Mind you, and this is another reason why I feel a certain way, on top of working at the Department of Mental Health, I'm also a LA nigga around a lot of rich people. I'm not rich, but I ain't doing too bad for myself either. I see a huge difference between those who earned their wealth and those who got it handed to them through a settlement. There's an arrogance those who got handed their wealth have that's different from those who got it from the gutter. The reason why Anton Daniels sounds, if you notice, he sounds a lot like Trump. Trump is another person that was handed his wealth. When you deal with people who are handed their wealth, they tend to look down on other people who don't have their wealth. And really, what that is, let me tell you what that is. It's really an insecurity. People who were handed their wealth, they know they can't hold a candle to those who've earned it. And that breeds an insecurity within them. So what they do, they people who are handed their wealth, they know they're viewed differently by the people who earned it. That's why if you look it up, Donald Trump, you can look up LA history. Like in New York, Donald Trump was never on the inner circle of wealthy people. He was always on the outside. Here in LA, the reason why he never got a building along the Wilshire corridor was because the people in LA kept Donald Trump out. They didn't respect how he got it. So Donald Trump was never able to buy significant real estate in Los Angeles. When different properties will become available along the Wilshire corridor in the 1980s and 90s, people like Donald Sterling, former owner of the Clippers, Jerry Buss, former owner of the Lakers, along with Rick Caruso and other people, they will come around and buy that building just so Donald Trump couldn't. This is a fact. There is, y'all think I'm lying? See, I'm a newspaper reader. Look, Trump has never been able to conquer Southern California. This is a long article that they had on, Trump not being able to penetrate the LA market. And a major reason why was because people didn't respect the way he got it. And when you're in those circles of wealth, circles of money, these conversations play out. So what these insecure people do is they punch down on those who don't have what they have because they can't compete with those who know what's really going on. And I don't respect it. And plus, another thing he does is he does the same thing with his money that prosperity preachers do. This is what prosperity preachers do.
So immediately pulling her out of school, Immediately, see how it says Senate
See, now he's talking about here that his daughter had enrolled in a bunch of track tournaments, and this is her
schedule?
texting him.
Leslie Daniels right here. She was sending me her tentative schedule for
He's
the
now saying
track
he's going to have to
meet.
pull her out again. This is lawsuit angling, but it's the
I
part I wanted
don't
to get
know
to.
if she'll be able to do that. Hopefully she can recover from this. Been there. That's what it feels like. It's like trying to break a fever, but you don't know what long-term damage that could make. Our entire life, we've done everything to protect our child, ensured that she's never, ever, ever needed anything whatsoever.
No, you didn't. Part of protecting your child is keeping them out of harm's way. And going after a troll like Corey, who don't mind going after children, that's not protecting your kid. We cannot, we cannot, we cannot start at second and third base. You got to start at first base. First base is don't start none, won't be none. And I've dealt with way too many parents that put their kids in these situations and then call me when it's time to get some emotional clarity. Hey, Reginald Lane, you want to call in and say it on the phone? I'm opening the phone line right now. You got an issue? First off, Corey's a Chicago guy. But yeah, we are different. We very different in LA. If you're gonna start something, you better be willing to go to the gutter with it. If you're gonna start something, yes, be ready to go to the gutter with it. That's not an LA thing, that's a life thing. Again, name one war that the rules of humanity was respected. I'll wait. The phone lines are now open 323 705 5150. 323 705 5150. You disagree? Call in. You agree? Of course he won't call in because he's a bride. Of course he won't call in. What's up, Carl? What's the name? Where you calling from?
Jacoby from Portland, Oregon. How you doing, Dwann?
Jacoby, what's on your mind, brother?
Man, I need to kind of clarify to you and to the chat. Like, when you first start off, should you bring your kids into it? No. But Anton, he started that whole thing. Corey led him on the show to have some type of dialogue. It is the 5150 show. It means it can turn up, it can turn down, it can go every which way. Depends on the situation. And when you go around talking about you beat someone, I could beat his ass, and I think he was shaking like a stripper, and all those things. Now you cross into a territory that you shouldn't go down to. And I stay out of trouble, and I know you stay out of trouble. I know the
Yeah.
chat stays out of trouble because we don't bring our children or our nieces and nephews into a situation that we are starting. No, Anton is going to try to play victim in this, and he might sue and he might win. But there's this thing called discovery, and Corey can say, "Well, he threatened my life,"
Yeah.
So it can go back and forth. So I don't want to sit there and say I condone children getting into the mix or the wife. But this man came on the platform saying, "Oh, I'm a Christian. I'm in this. I'm whoopty whoop whoop." If you're a Christian, why are you with ladies in a non-professional way?
That's real talk. Yeah, exactly. I'm
And
with you right there. I don't. It's going at somebody's kids something I do. No, I wouldn't do that. Because, like I
Yeah,
said, he's ugly enough to go at him. It's an infinite amount of jokes from his forehead to his chin to not have to go to his kids. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
I ain't going. And
yeah.
that's the end of the day, man. But I got to get these other calls, my brother, man. Thanks for giving us a call,
All right,
Jacoby.
man. You're welcome, man. All right,
Yes,
bye-bye.
sir. It's not what I would do. Again, look at Anton's face. I mean, he's a cross-eyed goofball.
Yeah.
What's up, Carter? Hold on 1 second. What's up, Carter? What's the name? Where you calling from?
What up, Dwann? This is Devin, man. OG Red Dog, right here in LA, man.
What up, brother? What's name mine?
Oh man, I'm just saying, look, I want to look at the big picture, bro. I stepped into this really I was rooting for Corey, man. I don't really like Anton. I'm just keeping it real, man. He's a slimy, kind of slimy guy and shit. But what I'm really saying, let's look at the big picture, brother. Ignorant, violent nigga culture is dead. And we got to recognize that, man. We can't have 1 foot in ignorant nigga culture and 1 foot in the civilized world, be willing to run the court 1 minute and be willing to fight the other.
Let me
We
say
can't do
one
that,
thing
man.
real quick. That's a slogan. In nigga
That's not a
culture.
slogan, man. We've been here since the
Let me
beginning
finish.
of this country,
Let me
man. We don't
let me
build
finish.
skyscrapers.
Let me
We
finish.
fight each
Let me
other in the
finish.
streets
Let
like
me
animals.
finish. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Okay, okay.
Negative will never die. Negative and positive are parts of existence. That's a law of nature. There's
That's a Zen way to
always
see it.
going.
I get you.
Let me finish. There's always
Okay.
going to be ignorant niggas because we live in an ignorant ass country. We got an ignorant ass president. We got ignorant ass Turning Point USA that's turning the killing of Charlie Kirk into a whole goddamn circus, and his wife is over here getting caught in Cabo San Lucas 2 months after he died. Ignorance is always going to be here. We got to
I
know
don't
that.
disagree with that. I don't disagree with that, right? But I don't love
No,
all
let me
those
finish. Let
people.
me finish.
I only
Let me
love my
finish.
people.
Let me finish. No, there's no. That's a cop out. There's no only.
That's not a cop
Yes,
out,
it is a
man.
cop
We
out.
can do better.
Let me know why. No, we can't do better. Let me tell you why. There's no we. We live in a world. We live in a country, and although we have the racial differences that we see, are decisions that people made based on phenotype. There's an overall culture of America, and we've been in this thing the whole time. And the culture of America is very disrespectful. America is very ghetto. America is very ratchet. This is a ratchet ghetto nation. So as long as you have a ratchet ghetto nation, you can't watch a basketball game without a drug commercial, an alcohol commercial, and a gambling commercial. This is a
I'm with
ratchet
you,
ghetto
brother.
nation, and
I see
black
that.
people. There will always be a segment, again, a segment of black people who are going to go right in alignment with how the country moves. Period.
I understand where you're coming from, brother. All I'm saying is we cannot keep embracing the ignorant miscreant culture and giving it legitimacy. All right, that's how the
Hold on,
Jews
hold
have
on.
gotten us.
How can we
That's how
give?
the Jews have
How
continued
can
to
we give
oppress
it?
us through hip hop
How can we
culture.
give it
That
legitimacy? Like it's there. You can't give it nor you can't give it legitimacy. You can't take legitimacy away. It
Yeah,
happened.
but we can't excuse a motherfucker involving somebody's kids,
You
man. We
don't
can't do
have
that.
the
Kids are off
you
limits,
don't
yo.
have the power to excuse, sir. You get like I think as people we get ahead of ourselves. You don't have the power to excuse. Them two niggas made a decision. Anton made a decision to go a whole week doing a victory lap saying, hey, 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 hey.
And that was bitch ass shit, man.
Corey
Trust me, I do
decided,
not like Anton,
Corey
man. I do not like
decided,
Anton.
Corey decided to take it to another level. It is what it is. I don't have the power to excuse it. You don't have the power to excuse it. None of
I
us
got your
do.
point. You're right.
It
You're right.
happened. You know what we
You're
could
right.
do? We could do the same thing these white folks is doing with Charlie Kirk and his rally. Watch it and be like, damn, that's some fucked up shit. And then go back to living our lives. That's all you can do.
That's basically where it's at, man. I mean, that's basically where it's at because
But I'm
now it's embarrassing for us as black
no, it
men. It
ain't.
really is, man.
No,
Yes,
it ain't.
it is on both sides.
How? It's not. How can those two people embarrass you? They are the
No, I
people.
got your point. I got your point, brother.
The people who look at them as an embarrassment. They already don't like you, and it ain't nothing you can do to change it. I appreciate the call for raising that point, my brother. I
You
appreciate
must
you,
be
man.
from New Orleans, huh? Like me.
Huh?
I can tell you got that New Orleans logic
I'm
going
from
on. You got
no,
that
no,
New
no. I
Orleans.
got Black American logic. I'm fourth generation Los Angeles, brother.
LA? All right, all
I'm
right,
fourth
all right,
generation
all right.
LA. I've been here for 100 years, man. But thanks for giving us a call.
All right, man. Peace out.
Yes, sir. All right. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, I'm calling from Oakland, the Bay Area.
Oakland, the Bay Area.
Yes. I just have a problem. I want to talk about I'm gonna be all over the place, but I am gonna land my plane. First of all, Anton he's egotistical. He has a one track mind. And it's not okay to talk about people's kids. But he talks about people's kids.
Yes, he does.
So it's okay for him to do it. He's like a me type of person. It's like like I said, he's egotistic. He only has a one track mind. He only sees things his way, like a spoiled child.
Right.
You know, it's like he's a spoiled child. And he does have a lot of feminine tendencies. I'm not saying that he's gay, but it's a lot of men out there that has a lot of feminine tendencies. You know, some people have more wives than they got. Oh, so it's just a lot of things, and it depends on who raised you and who you looked up to that gives you your characteristics. But if you go out there starting trouble with somebody and then you playing victim, because you went on that man's show disrespecting that man. So, period. And your fans. And you tried to play chess. He wasn't coming to play checkers at all. He came to play chess because he got there early. He befriended all the
The
staff,
staff.
so he tried to get them on his side. What he really did was he played a military move, and it's really sad to do that to black people. But I think like he's a plant or something because like, why did he feel that he can talk about everybody and he can downrate everybody, women, he downrated women. He downrated that woman that he brought there
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that was disrespectful. You didn't even have permission to bring her there. You conned her to get her there and told her she was going to be on the show without permission. That was the number one disrespect that you did. Secondly, as far as Corey getting punked, I don't think he was punked. I think he was smart because he already knew that Anton, after a while, he figured that, oh, he's trying to play me. This is a play. And he probably thought, oh, Ari Spears, Ari Spears, Ari Spears. He already remember all that money he had to spend and still spending it. So for a man without a position to say that somebody should just sold off on somebody, yeah, it looked like he wanted to. It looked like he was shaken because he was restrained from hitting the person. A person was trying to put a person in a corner and back them up in a corner to where you almost ain't got a choice but to swing, and that's what happened there. And as far as somebody's feelings being hurt, maybe his feelings is hurt that somebody did that to him and tried to play him and put him in a corner.
That's a
And,
real good
and I,
point. I'm gonna have to go sure have some more calls calling in, but I want to go on with your point. You just made a major point. Let's take it for what it is. Corey's feelings probably were hurt. And what do hurt people do? Hurt people.
they laughed out.
Yeah. That's what happened. That's part of the again. There's what people are that are on the end. What people are understanding is people don't want to deal with the consequences of their actions, and that's what that comes down to. Whenever you want to decide, like you said, whenever you want to decide to start war, you have to also consider the collateral damage and ask, is
Exactly.
this war worth it before you start?
Right. And one more thing, let me just say this
Go
part.
ahead.
Because I went to psychology school. I'm not a psychologist, but I did go to school for it, and I was a straight A student in it. And you can see why, because my teacher just said. You were all over the place, but you came and made sense. You brought up all the points in psychology of a person's behavior because he has a lot of behaviors that needs to be analyzed. But he's a smart person, so he got something like autism. He might have, Asperger or something like that because he don't understand society. He don't understand the other side. He only understands his point and his side. And if he's not right, he will go against anyone to try to be right. And that's I'm gonna land
That's
my
a
plane
great
there
point.
because I know
That's
you
a
have
great way
other
to end it.
calls.
Thanks for that. I'm going on what
Yeah.
she just said. Thanks for giving us a call. Oakland always see, man. Oakland always got some. Anytime I hear Oakland, I know I'm gonna hear somebody that's reasonable. Oakland's probably the most reasonable city in this country as far as the people that they put out. I got to give Oakland credit. I very rarely hear any real fuck shit come from Oakland, but she's right about that. When it comes to, but only where I have a slight disagreement with her is she called Anton smart. I don't think he's smart. He's not smart at all. He speaks well. He understands a few things where he's smart in the area of knowing how to flip money on the internet. Now I will give him that. He's very smart and very great at that. But as far as just overall a smart person, he don't have that. And I figured that out just listen to him talk. When Corey asked him, "You not black?" and he flipped to, "I'm a Christian." I said, "Oh, he not." First off, and this is no disrespect to anybody that worships any religion, but if you identify your humanity with a belief system, whether it be Christianity, whether it be the belief that tall people are smarter than short people, when your belief system is something outside of yourself, you've already abdicated a lot of your intelligence to a system and not to yourself from within. So I question his smartness, not just on the religious point of view, but also how he was able to, when he's questioned about his stance on society, he's not able to give a one word answer, a one phrase answer. He's not able to get right to it. He has predetermined arguments. I'm gonna get right to you, Dana. He had when Corey was talking the way he was talking, Anton went right to saying, "Oh, it's because you're a Democrat." He already had a pre-written argument, and Corey's not a Democrat. You know what I mean? Oh, you voted for Obama. Just go back and listen to their back and forth. He was just putting things on Corey because he's so far on the right. He was just saying, "Let me throw something out there that I put out there for all people on the left and see if it sticks." That's not what a smart person does. A smart person is able to address you where you are without having to attribute you to a larger talking point that doesn't even apply to you. That's what a game player does. What's up, caller? What's the name? Where you calling from?
This is Dana.
What's up,
What's
Dana? What's on your
happening?
mind?
Not much. Thank you, Dwann, for your analysis on this for the last week. I didn't really know who Anton Daniels was. I had heard the name, but I didn't know who he was. And you were giving us an analysis of who he was. And we know that, Anton Daniels gave a super chat or a cash app of
Yeah.
$500. Corey and him had a conversation. Corey has been very careful. I used to listen to Corey more when Zoe was on there. But when Zoe left, it was, kind of a pointless conversation because Corey did all the talking. So, but I watched him for years, and he was very careful after Ari Spears was on his show about who he had there. So it interests me. It piqued my interest in why would you have Anton Daniels? I knew about the $500 super chat, but to have him there, and Anton Daniels thought he had bagged a big fish. He thought he was going to go on Corey's show. He said he had studied him, but he didn't study him enough. He didn't study him enough because, oh, you're a big tough guy. And they went back and forth with the conjecture, and there was a lot of talk. And now here's all this fallout. We know why Anton went on Corey's show, but what did Corey think he was getting when he had Anton on his
Let me
show?
answer that for you. And you know what I mean? I love Corey. I love 5150 Nation. But this is my opinion. I hadn't talked to Corey nothing. But this is my opinion. I think Corey saw the following Anton had and wanted a piece of it.
Okay.
I
But
think
he has a big
he
following. The
does.
Goons are
But let
a
me
huge
let me
following.
finish.
I'm sorry,
It's not
Dwann.
about him. You are like when you're in a space, there's always a chance to get more. You know what I mean? And I think that both, and not just Corey. I think Anton saw Corey's following and said, "I'm gonna bite off some of his too." That's So I think that Corey saw the money that came, and he saw the following. So Corey saw an opportunity for himself, and Corey also said that from his point of view, he thought that he could teach Anton. Remember, he said that. He said he thought he could
Yes.
teach him something, and that's where Corey. That's what that's. I think that's what led to him not doing the level of research that he should have. Anton, on the other hand, he's been angling for war all year last year. He went at war with Mark Lamont Hill. You gotta remember, he disrespected Kenyon Martin. And because me and Kenyon Martin was talking about being a father, when Kenyon Martin was talking about being a father and going back and forth with Anton Daniels about, I think that was like back in October, he totally disrespected him. Kenyon Martin. So what Anton has been doing, he's been he's been fanning the flame to his own audience. He's been trying to show the audience, I'm the pull-up guy. I'm the man. These people on the left, they can't touch me. These people who are non-conservatives, non-Christians, these people are imbeciles, and I'm going to put up on, and I'm going to show my my right-leaning audience that the left and people not on the right are imbeciles, and I'm better than them, I'm richer than them, I'm smarter than them. He's been on this warpath all year. And so what Anton saw was another feather in his cap to go towards his audience. But what he didn't see when he studied, and Mark Lamont Hill's not going to go there. Kenyon Martin is a basketball player, so no disrespect to Kenyon Martin, but I'm not saying Kenyon Martin's stupid, but most athletes, they're not stupid, but they're not rhetorically the sharpest. Let me say it that way. All right, they're not rhetorically the sharpest people. So he picked off targets. The angle
Right.
that Anton made on Corey is this big, bad, tough guy. Here's the problem. And this, I remember I said this last week. Corey has never played the tough guy. Corey's angle is the guy that'll say anything about anybody. That's what he'll say. And remember, Anton said, "You're being soft for not bringing up Dave Chappelle." He understood
Right.
that Corey will say anything about anybody, but he didn't see his family as the anything and anybody. The whole point is when you see somebody who say things about anything and anybody, that's literally anything and anybody. If a man's own kids aren't off, that means your kids aren't off, and that's where Anton fell short. He didn't study he studied what he can get out of it, not the long-term consequences and collateral damage that can come from it.
No, no, you're right, and thank you for that, Dwann. Um, the last thing I want to say is that you're right. Anton opened his own family, wife and child, uh, to this, and Corey had all week while he was taking a victory lap of finding an angle he wanted to use. Yes, he did use a photo of the child, but Anton opened himself up to this. And if Corey wants to spend the money, he can go and also research Anton and have his attorney in discovery bring all out all the stuff he said about other families.
Right? Real talk. Well,
All right,
thanks
thanks,
for being on the
Dwann.
call,
I keep
Dana.
listening.
Yeah, that's real talk. That's real talk. Again, personally, I'm not putting my morals onto it because I think that Anton Daniels he looks like a water bug. It's like there's not enough money on earth that can cover this level of ugly. Cross-eyed, you see 4, 5, 7 different tones of black. He got the raccoon eyes. There's so much on his face that where you never need to talk about family and friends and people like that. But again, I ain't the one talking. What's up? I'm gonna take the first caller. I got two of y'all online. The first caller speak, and then I'm gonna get to the second person. What's up, caller? What's the name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, just tell it like it is, calling out of Fairfield, California.
Go ahead, brother. What's on your mind?
Yeah, just real quick. Um, the reason why I don't feel sorry for Anton Daniels is because he didn't just try to come on there and pick a fight and he was on a warpath. He tried to damage Corey Holcomb's brand.
Right.
You know
Yes,
what I'm saying?
he did say that.
But he tried to damage that man's brand. So, and I sent you a super chat, and in the super chat I made a comment. And I'm gonna just say it right here, right now. You don't piss off a comedian, let alone a comedian like Corey Holcomb, because he'll take it there.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm? And so you get on this warpath, and I'm a firm believer in the sins of the father will be visited upon his children.
Uh-huh.
So now, this man got up on another man's brand and tried to tank that brand. Knowingly tried to tank that brand because he has this preconceived notion that Corey is just some peon from the ghetto, and that you can do all of this nefarious stuff, and then it got flipped on him. Corey got the last laugh because
That's real
Corey is a
talk.
comedian. He's all about the last laugh. He's all about that last laugh.
Yeah. That's all Corey's. That's exactly what Corey's about. And Anton got himself in that quicksand, man. But thanks for getting us call. Got another one waiting. Thanks for getting us call. And I
Take
appreciate
care.
the super chat.
Take care.
I'm reading these super chats before I get to the next caller. It said, same thing to make you laugh or make you cry. Anton Daniels should have known better than to piss off a comedian. And Corey, of all people, that's real talk. I'm gonna get right to you, caller, when I'm done with these super chats. Russell Red said, don't play victim now, Anton. I thought you was on a tough player. You wanted to talk tough. Now you crying. These dudes are weak. Anton, you hang with Charleston White, who is steady talking about kids. Right. Charleston White talked about that one rapper's dead child. Like, and you stay around that degenerate motherfucker. Anton has some koala bear in his blood. Damn. Y'all stupid. Shit. What's up, caller? What's the name? Where you calling from? Yeah. There we go. What's up, caller? What's the name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what up, Dwann? It's Jeff calling out of Dallas, man. It's that Lord Jamar looking nigga that you met in Austin.
Hey, brother, I remember you, my man. What's on your mind, brother?
Oh man, I just wanted to tell you good job, man. I'm proud of you, bro. You holding down the fort. But as far as like this whole situation with Corey, I see it from a bird's eye view, man. I talked to y'all at Craig Fest, and you was asking a question about like what do black people need to do in order to change our situation. And I came up with something simple but quite clever. I was saying if we take the word hunky and bring it to the forefront now, but take it past the color line where it applies to your actions. And I think that a graduate is getting kicked all in the ass right now. So I just want to tell you good job. And y'all keep up the good work because eventually a lot of these bitch ass niggas going to be scared and they going to quit acting like hunkies. And just tell the shit you're doing with Tariq, just keep putting a foot in their ass. Because on the grassroots, I'm still looking at niggas in their face, pointing them out, and calling what's right, and what's wrong. So
That's
I
real
think y'all
talk.
need to keep it up. And ain't nothing wrong with what Corey did. Because whole ass nigga, when I see you, it's on. That's what it is.
Real
You
talk.
know what I'm saying? You talking all that shit. So that's what it is, man. But good job. And y'all keep up the good work, man.
Big love, brother.
Already.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that brother from when we was in Austin a few years ago. He and his people, good people. I like when I'm on the road and I see some of y'all in person. I mean, most people I've met so far, everybody I've met so far that's come to me and talk, good energy, man. I get nothing but love when I'm out there. So, it's some real good human beings out there. And we can disagree from time to time. You know what I mean? Is Anton going to sue? Oh, yeah, of course, brother. Lee Chubbard, he's going to sue. That's the reason why he's talking the way he's talking right here. he's speaking in a legalese form. He's going to sue, and where Corey had the problem is he showed the picture. Had Corey never showed the picture, there would be. But I could tell you could tell later on in his speech when he's talking. Anton, I didn't get to the part, and I'm done playing this video. I'm not going to play anymore. I don't want to hear his voice anymore. But there's a point in this video where he said that he was advised. All he could do is say what he's going to say. Anytime a person said that they were advised, who advised them? Obviously, in my opinion, a lawyer. That's my opinion, though. What's up, caller? What's the name? Where you calling from?
This is Yoga calling from the ATL. What's up, Dwann? I've called in before.
Yes, sir. What's on your mind, my brother?
Dwann, I must bring something to light that none of us has brought up, and that's the first thing I thought last week. I'm kind of surprised you didn't look at it from this angle, but a lot of people think that Corey is in trouble as far as from bringing up the kid. We're not looking at it from this angle. Corey has a lawsuit on Anton Daniels because going to his show saying to his face that that's a sexual assault by him saying that Corey gives fellatio and playing sexual sex games, that he slandered Corey live in his face. So the whole world saw Futon come on the show and break the law. He slandered Corey, then he sexual assaulted him. And then that was sexual battery. He followed up the sexual assault with the sexual battery by double down on it, by saying that he does it to multiple people. So tell me, in what world you can go and hold on, Dwann. What world you can go in corporate America into a job and say that to anybody in a job and not be hit and not get arrested and then hit with a criminal and a civil lawsuit? Antoine Futon is in the criminal aspect wrong and he's civilly wrong. Go ahead.
Let me tell you why I didn't play the angle, because that if Anton had said you suck dick, then yeah, he'd be in legal issues. But that's not what he said. He said.
What did he say then, Dwann?
He said figuratively speaking, you suck the dick of black people.
No, that's what he said. The second time.
No. I'm not, and I'm on. Hold on, brother. Hold on. Calm down. We on the same side of this. We on the same team. Calm down.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that the court's not going to interpret what we thought he said. They're just going to go back and play back to what it said. He said you suck the dick of black people, and that's not wrong. There's nothing legally wrong with that. So Corey, now can he file? Of course he can file, but he's not about to pay a lawyer $10,000 to file something. The minute they pay the video and they pay the full thing of what he said, there's literally no way to suck the dick of a group of people. So that would go into obvious figurative terms. And so, no, he couldn't sue for that. That's why I didn't bring it up, because I heard it and it was like, now had he said you suck my dick, or you suck that person's dick, or you suck this dude's dick, then yeah, Corey. But that's not what he did. I'm always gonna be fair, even when I don't like a motherfucker. But thanks for giving us a call. I got this other call. Yeah. I don't like Anton Daniels, but I'm not gonna be unfair. That's not what he said. He didn't say you suck this person's dick or that person's dick. He said you suck the dick of black people. That's nothing. You can't sue for that. You can't sue for that. Okay, I saw that. I did that super chat. We saw that. He said Anton like koala bear. Fizz says another classic broadcast. Appreciate you too, Felix Speaks. Even when we don't disagree, and I don't mind having mods and people. I don't know if C Diggs is in here. I could disagree with y'all, and y'all can disagree with me. That's fine. I only got two rules: keep the disagreement respectful, and if you're gonna say jokes, be funny. What's up, Carter? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, this me right now?
Yes, sir. What's on your mind?
What's going on? This is I'm from the account Reggie Lane. I've been making those comments, and so just to give clarity, I'm not trying to disrespect you at all.
Wait, what comment? Which comment? I don't remember which comments, because I'm like barely reading the chat. I'm kind of scanning it. I'm not really reading it close.
Oh, my bad, bro. The ULA dudes is tripping comment, something to that effect.
Oh yeah, you said we LA dudes, but Corey's a Chicago dude. But go ahead.
Yeah, but Corey's like a transplanted LA dude now. He's been in LA for a minute,
Are you
right?
from LA?
I'm now from Detroit.
That means you can't make that determination. You ain't from here. But go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, amen. Boom. I'm just saying, like, y'all do a lot of defending and deflecting of his bad behavior. And I don't understand that as men. That we pick and choose who we like and say, I'm going to support him, as opposed to supporting the right thing or the righteous thing.
Right is relative.
And my,
So what have you had to say about what do you have to say about Anton Daniels' behavior? You're from Detroit, so you'd have the greatest standing of all
I
because
guess,
y'all from the same city. So I'll listen to what you have to say about his
right.
behavior. What do you have to say?
So I feel like he was playing the role of the counterpuncher. So Corey, everybody keeps saying, he was saying that he matched energy, which I don't agree with. That you should do as a man, match another man's energy. You know what I'm saying? I don't agree with that part, but that is what he came and said he was doing. And so when Corey makes the statement of you kiss an ass, how is it not? So who then gets to dictate where the disrespect ends and starts?
It go see. Look, I don't know if you saw the whole show, but it goes before that. You said counterpunch. You can't be the counterpuncher when you are the person that's creating the drama. Anton Daniels, when you
Right,
go back to the first, it was 20 minutes before the whole ass kissing, dick sucking part came up. And in that
right.
20 minutes leading up to that, Corey was being very accommodating. He kept telling
But he's been
Anton,
good
I
ever.
disagree. You right, I disagree. But you go ahead and get it off. Anton was raising his voice. Anton was escalating. Anton told Corey, you don't have the intelligence to say. He threw a lot of micro mini shots. He threw so he threw a bunch of Anton was the whole time throwing small little rocks, not big rocks, just small ones. Nothing that would chip your glass, nothing that'll hurt you.
He was definitely,
But he was throwing
he
that.
was definitely
So
that.
when you come in with that energy, you came into someone else's you disrespected somebody else's show in their studio, coming in with a level of aggression that for 20 minutes Corey kept deflecting on. And then Corey went from 1 to 10. But it probably never gets there if you come in with respect and you're not throwing many shots. You're not saying things like you don't have the intelligence to break down what I'm saying. You're not saying things again as a black man. Whatever. And let's take away what Anton was saying directly to Corey. Corey's black. You're black. I'm black. So
Yeah.
Anton is spending 20 minutes talking about black people, which is what? An indirect shot at not only Corey, but everyone around. So at what point do you
I mean,
put
I guess.
accountability on him?
So my thing, so I'm gonna respond to that where you say accountability on him that he can give it. My opinion doesn't have to match yours, right?
No, no, no. I didn't say anything about opinion. I said aggression, attacks. He
That
was
was
throwing
his point, but
shots.
I'm saying
He was throwing shots. He wasn't giving it opinion.
he made it.
He was if
But
that
I'm
was
saying,
he was throwing shots, and the shots he was throwing were also lies too. But go ahead.
can you agree that offense is taken and not given?
Both it's both. There's no one or the other. We live in a world of duality. It's both.
Right, but I'm saying
No, no.
an opinion
Let
can
me be
be
clear.
turned
No, I
into
can't. I
offense.
cannot agree with that because it's a two-way street.
Okay, but what I'm saying is that he Anton was giving his opinion of black people, whether it was good or bad. It was
No, no.
his opinion, right?
Anton was lying on black people, and he was targeting
He was
Corey.
lying on black people.
He was telling
He
Corey, "You have these left-leaning opinions," when Corey's not even on the left.
No, but Corey proved to have left leaning opinions. And so left leaning opinions is kind of loosely stated because Corey comes from this we don't do that in jail mentality. He's never been to jail, so that's where he comes from. He comes from the unintelligent lane. He doesn't come from
Well, Anton come. They. I would go. So I would say they both come from an unintelligent lane because Anton's not.
as a nerd.
And no, no.
He plays the role of a nerd.
Thank you, thank you. You said it just right there. He
Yeah.
plays the role of
He,
a nerd,
he plays the role of a, he
but
plays
he's
the
not.
role of the nerd. Right.
But we saw through his actions that he was not able to communicate in a way that was not one intelligent. Two, it was
He wasn't.
civil. He spoke in a non-civil, non-intelligent way, and this is why I say intelligence. Intelligence is being able to say something and back it with proof and evidence. Anton doesn't say anything
He never gave you
and
the
back it with
answer
proof
though.
and
He was
evidence.
trying to
He
dictate.
says things and
Corey
then
trying to dictate how he
he
responds.
says things and then he moves on to the next topic. It's actually a bush league. It's a bush league, very disrespectful way of communicating by casting aspersions and lies and moving on as if it's
On
the
a
truth.
comedy show? Oh, wait a second. On a this is not a political debate show that they was on. It's a comedy
There
show.
was a political debate. If they were talking politics. Anton
Maybe
made
your speaking is not a
Anton made it.
political debate.
No, Anton made it.
What I'm saying is it's not a
Anton made
political
it a
debate.
political debate when he brought in
Not at
what you
all.
left.
When
Let me
he was answering a
listen.
question, he
Anton
didn't
made
just
it a
start
political
talking.
debate when he brought in politics. He
Who
introduced
brought in politics?
politics.
Corey brought in politics, asking him the question that he asked.
No.
How is he?
Before that
He didn't come
question,
in
he
there
said, "You
trying to
guys
talk
on
about
the
politics.
left." Anton brought up Barack Obama, and Corey hates Barack Obama. Anton brought that up, and Corey hates Barack Obama.
Okay.
So now my question to you is, what is it with you Detroit niggas that can't listen to the
Uh-huh.
that can't consider the whole story and make a fair assessment? What's wrong with Detroit to where you guys
Why
have
are
to
you saying
start so far deep into the discussion to cast aspersions on Corey? You started the argument
Oh,
25 minutes in, not at minute number one. What's wrong with Detroit?
okay. So if first I don't know what you mean when you say what's
You
wrong with
brought up
Detroit. I don't know
LA.
where.
I
Right.
think you would know. You brought the city. I didn't bring the cities into it.
Right.
You did. You see how
I'm
this
not trying to
works?
stay on the city council. I'm not trying to stay on the
No.
city council. I'm really.
Here's the
That's
thing.
not what I'm talking
When you
about.
introduce
That's not what I'm
something,
saying. I'm saying
when you introduce
that
something, you don't decide when it gets removed.
you see how you just said that? You see how you just said that?
That was
And that's what I said about Anthony Corey. How are you gonna now say that what I said? What I said? That's exactly what I said.
that's not what you
You can't
said.
introduce something. I said you
Anton
can't
introduced
introduce
it.
something when you're a person.
Anton
He did
introduced the
not.
politics. Yes, he did.
He did not. He didn't introduce. But they weren't beefing over
But
the politics. They were beefing over the inflammatory statement.
no, they
And so he did not
Anton
introduce the
introduced
inflammatory
politics.
statement.
You introduced
He did
cities.
not.
You
Introduce
could
the
have easily
inflammatory
said
statement.
Dewan.
We could have
What's
talked about
wrong
all of
with
this, and that
Cor?
has
You
nothing
could
to
have
do
said
with what you
Dewan.
need.
What's wrong with Corey's opinion? You tried to make it a LA thing. So now, since you tried to make
No,
it an LA thing, I got one more question for
because
you.
you're making about
I got one more
right, but
question for
that's
you.
disingenuous.
What is wrong
Go
with
ahead.
Detroit? You're supporting a black
There's a
man.
lot of things wrong with
You're
Detroit. I don't know what
Detroit.
you mean.
Detroit is ignoring a black man that made a point about a black man defending black people, and the whole
He
issue
didn't
came.
really defeating black
What's
people
wrong
though.
with Detroit?
How is he
You're a black city. Why? How do you ignore all of this crack of racism coming from Anton Daniels? How do you ignore
I
that
don't
in
I
a
don't
majority black city?
well for me I'm not gonna speak for all Detroiters. I'm gonna speak for myself and I'm gonna say that I don't think that I don't think that somebody's opinion matters that much to me. So if you don't like black people, cool. What are we talking
So you
about?
follow,
And
but what you're missing is he follows his dislike for black people up with a bunch of lies that you think is
what
intellectual.
lies did he tell? What lie did he
If
tell?
you watched my show last week, I broke the lies down literally line for line. He said black people.
Okay.
I went line for line with his lies. I really did, and I
I'm
gave
actually glad I
information.
came across your channel.
I was very
So
thorough.
let me first say thank you to Anton and Corey for introducing me to you. This is the bomb. I'm
Likewise,
down.
brother,
You
and
know,
stay around. Just because we
you
disagree
know.
don't mean we got to dislike each other.
Oh, yeah. No, because so I asked, is there a difference between disagreement and understanding?
Yeah.
And and I think that's what it is. He didn't agree with him, but he was understanding where he's coming from, and he met him in jest. So no, I don't. We don't have to agree to understand one another. Disagreement leads to violence. And Corey bringing your chair over to the man for what? For what?
To see if he
Are you?
to see if he meant what he said. Closer.
So instead of de-escalating, you escalate.
Well, you got to understand this. Corey tried to de-escalate for 20 minutes.
how do you say you tried to de-escalate when you pulled your chair
Go
from me?
no again. You're starting after it got to a 10. I'm talking about the 20 minute. What you let me give you some background on me. My background is I'm a problem solver. I'm a communication expert. I got a degree in this stuff. I made my life offline settling differences like this. When it comes to disagreements, you have to trace things back to the initial energy of the when Anton Daniels walked into that room and said, "I studied you," and he started and everything Corey was saying, he had something to say, and he kept raising the bar for 20 minutes. He was escalating for 20 minutes. If it doesn't, a true intellectual is going to see, oh, okay, I'm escalating. Let me pull my energy back and redirect it over here so that the conversation can stay civil. That's not what Anton did.
Unfair. Why I'm saying that's unfair
They
is
know that's very
because
fair. Remember,
you,
Anton's the intellect.
no,
Remember,
what I'm saying is why that's not fair because he's a guest on his show. So and we
no,
was
that's no. You gotta understand this. Fair is fair. If you don't want the old rule is don't start none, won't be none. When you make the decision to escalate tension, then you don't know. It's like if you ever been in a swimming pool and you get a volleyball and you try to stuff that volleyball down a swimming pool. The deeper you try to suppress that volleyball, at some point you're not going to be able to control that volleyball under the water. That's how explosions work. That's how disagreements happen. The minute you let it
right.
go,
But what I'm
you don't
but
know
what I'm
where
saying
that
is
ball is
in
going to go. So the point is,
this
don't
in this
suppress the ball.
my thing is in this YouTube world, every nothing is what it looks like. Everything is a facade. Why would I let you damage my brand to protect you? I don't understand it. And because it's not like this happened on the street and we are
Corey wasn't
analyzing what
damaging
happens
his
on the
brand.
street.
He was no. Remember, Anton Daniels was
No,
on brand.
I'm saying if I'm saying I gotta match your energy, this is what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? He's saying I'm matching your energy. I am not gonna cower because of things you say. I'm gonna approach it. I'm not because here in Detroit, our philosophy is I ain't tough, but I ain't no hoe. You're not gonna hold me.
But he
Okay,
did get
yeah, bet.
hold.
How did he get hold?
The man got in his face
He
and
told you
says,
he said let's go outside
"No, no, 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 no,
because
no.
YouTube
Remember
demonetized.
this.
YouTube get mad about your
Let's
YouTube
go
mad at your energy
outside.
spike.
Let's go
Let's go
outside.
outside
Let's go outside."
and
Is
save
a
the
cop
money,
out.
and we can figure all this
Nobody
out.
that's
Whatever
going
you
no no no
talking
no
about,
no no no
whatever you
no
don't
no.
like, I say.
Let's go
And the man
outside is a
apologized
old.
to him.
I don't know. Maybe in the
And the man apologized
and
to him.
I don't want to cast aspersions on Detroit. But if that's how y'all get down in Detroit, that's some sucker shit. You don't go outside. You get
How
down
is
where
that
you
sucker
stand.
shit?
If you mean
Well, first of all, so we like I said, we analyze a production. Okay, they are on a show. They ain't out in the streets, and he walked away and walked up on them. And that ain't how it works.
they
You know
no
what I'm
no no
saying?
no. You can't
That
you
whole
can't
scenario,
escalate the
was such.
when Corey
That's
got when it's
it was.
Corey's show when Corey got in his face and said say it
Uh huh.
again. That was a signal to Anton
Why I gotta say it
that
again? You
it
heard me
can
say
go
it. Why
down
I gotta say? Are
because
we
people
kids?
that's called giving
Are we kids? I
compassion.
gotta say.
Yes,
Wait a second.
that's called
Are we
giving.
are
That's
we
called
kids?
maybe you didn't know what
Wait,
you said. I'm gonna
wait
give
a
you
second.
one
I'm
more
offering you
chance.
the fair. I don't want the chance. Let's take the
No,
fair
what
one.
you're
I don't
missing? No,
want
no.
the chance.
I'm at the end. No,
I
no.
don't
I'm
even
at
want
the
the
end of this
chance
phone
right
call
now.
pretty soon. But no, no, no. He got in his
I got
face. When it comes to let's take it outside, that is a cop out. That is I don't want to fight. Neither of them dudes wanted to fight, and that's fine. I didn't want them to fight. No, it would have been a very bad look had they fought. So in
you.
my
And
opinion,
really goofy
in my
as a
opinion,
black man.
it
I
turned
felt
out.
more
Hold
shame
on.
than
In
him.
my opinion, it turned out the best way it could. Neither of them brothers fighting. But Anton
Yeah.
spent a week going around the internet after he said, I'm not gonna go on people's shows no more. He went on a bunch of people's shows and he
It
told
was like
Jason
a
Whitlock
victory
he would have
lap
whooped
though.
his ass.
It was a victory lap. Shouts out to Nipsey.
See, don't put Nipsey in that because Nipsey wouldn't have done a whole shit like that. Nipsey,
I
remember?
said it was a
No, no,
victory
no, no,
lap.
no, no,
His
no, no,
album
no,
is
no, no,
called
no, no,
Victory
no.
Lap. I'm not.
When Nipsey,
He
when
named his
Nipsey, when
album
Nipsey
Victory
had
Lap.
right before Nipsey died, when Nipsey had an issue with that dude at Staples Center, He didn't say let's go somewhere. He slapped that nigga right
Nipsey
there
say
in
no
front of
go.
everybody.
I ain't never.
So we're
I ain't
not
never
gonna
gonna
bring
speak bad on
Nipsey.
that man. I'm never gonna
Use
speak bad on
Eminem
that
or one of
man.
your Detroit rappers as an example. Don't use LA rapper.
I don't even rep for Eminem.
Well,
Eminem don't
that's
give me
your
no love
city.
this way.
So I'm just saying.
Amen.
I'm
I'm
just
just saying.
saying. He
I'm a
did. He
respect.
could have
I
got
respect
down
Nipsey.
where he got down. I'm glad it didn't happen. I'm glad they didn't fight. But he went on a week-long victory lap, and that victory
He went
lap,
on a victory lap.
and now he's facing the consequence of his victory lap.
And so wait a second. So you really gonna stand for somebody talking about this man kids? That's
Look,
how you feel?
that man talked
That's
about
how
his
LA
own
get
kid.
down?
That's his problem.
That's how LA get down?
Yep.
That's how LA get down, bro.
LA gets down. If you start something, don't
That's
get mad
tough.
where it turn up. Yep.
That's tough.
And
I
Detroit
don't
and you know how
man, you know
Detroit get
something?
down? Y'all a bunch of
All right.
coon ass niggas that don't give a fuck enough about.
Ooh.
Y'all don't give
Them
enough of a
some
fuck
strong
about
words.
black people to where you allow
That's some,
someone like Anton
do
Daniels
you
to
know that
become
the
a
Nation of Islam, do
millionaire
you know the Nation of
talking
Islam
about
started in
black
Detroit?
people because you niggas
Do you
is a
know the
bunch
Nation
of
of Islam
jive
started in
ass
Detroit?
coons. And that's why
Do you know the Nation of
that's why the
Islam
Middle
started in
Easterners are
Detroit?
taking your goddamn city. And it got
Do you know that the
gentrified right
Nation
from
of
under
Islam
you
started in
because
Detroit?
you don't see race.
Do you know that
Race
the
is
Nation
right
of
in front
Islam
of
started
you.
in
All
Detroit?
right? Don't talk about my look. We can look. I'm not look. I love Detroit, but you say something about LA, I'm gonna say something about your city. And your city is supporting coon behavior, and you're representing a majority black city that has an issue with a black man supporting a black man. That's a problem. This nigga said, Jacoby said, Anton looked like the character of new Klingon Star Trek. You're right, Anton Long. You never let nobody jump in your face. You never let nobody jump in your face. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Calling from DC.
DC, what's on your mind?
Ain't nothing, man. I'm hearing all this ruckus and all the ripple effects from Anton and Corey Holcomb, man. I'm trying to connect the dots and see how people can even at this point to see where those conversations have gotten. How people even vouch for Corey's behavior and that whole exchange. And I damn so can't see how people hide behind standing up for your people, standing up for the African American community when you got a brother now coming at attacking a child, a black girl. Like I just don't get it.
You cannot.
On top of all the other,
You can't.
on top of all the
You
other stuff
can't
he
play
did.
that angle. You can't play that
You
angle
play,
if you say
you
idly
play.
by while Anton Daniels attacked black people and black children who were victims of violence. You can't come now
I've
that
never, I've never seen him attack.
wait. Have you paid attention?
Who's going to attack somebody? He
He
should have did
attacked
it that day
Carmelo
when he got called to
Anthony.
go outside.
He attacked
I never
Carmelo
seen him attack
Anthony.
anyone.
So if you ignore all of the
Attack or voice.
if you
Okay, hold
bruh
on.
bruh 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 bruh
Attack.
bruh.
Hold on. If we're gonna talk about he attacked Carmelo.
I don't talk to men that don't have composure. If you're a man and you call me, I don't talk to men
Hey,
who voice started raising and you start babbling. That's like an annoying. That's just it's like talking to a petulant child, an annoying ass hooker. Talk to me civilly and we can talk. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
hey, yeah, this me back calling from Oakland. Anton is an antagonizer.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? When somebody is getting antagonized, that's just like somebody hitting a balloon. You keep on hitting the balloon, pretty soon it's gonna bust. You know what I'm saying? So they need to, get off that. And I think that they don't have. I think that different regions think different. You know what I'm saying? And one more thing I want to clear up.
Make it real quick because I got a lot of
It's
people calling in.
it's real quick. And Anton is from Detroit. Corey Holcomb is from Chicago, not LA. So y'all, he is in LA. He's been living in LA for a long time, so he got LA connections. But he is also just from Chicago.
Real
So
talk.
why y'all keep on
I gotta tell
why
you,
y'all keep on
that's
deflecting?
you know why? Because they hate LA. But thanks for getting us call. I got this other
I
call.
know that's why I keep on letting them. That's why I want to let them
Yeah,
know.
that's really what it comes down to is. And I heard and Kendrick talked about this on Let the Party Die. At the end of the day, A lot of y'all hate LA. You in some cold. Yeah. The Lions suck. The Pistons ain't gonna win shit. It's cold as fuck, and you over here looking at us in the sunshine. And whether our teams win or lose, we gonna be at the beach tomorrow having a good time. And a lot of you niggas just want to throw a shot at LA because that's like the dog barking at the moon. Stop showing your insecurities and don't bring your city in this. Keep your lane on you. Do not bring your city into your lane. Okay? If you a lame nigga, you a lame nigga. Don't say the city. Because Detroit got a whole bunch of live niggas too. Good ones too. I know a lot of dope ass people. My boy Kevin Tate from Detroit. Charlie Newhart was in here earlier. He from Detroit. So I personally know some real ones from Detroit. Stop associating your lane with your city. Stop it. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good afternoon. Yeah. Can you hear me? Am I on now, or are you talking to
Yeah,
someone else? I
you're
just want
talking
to
about
make
what's your
sure.
name and where you calling from?
All right, I'm in San Antonio, but originally from LA, from Harbor City, stand up. Like you said, Corey's not from LA, and Antoine came in kind of disrespectful, not only to him but to the city. But I will say this, as far as being sued, I'm not sure where Corey got that picture from. If that picture is in the public domain, and Anton being a public figure, I don't know if he can sue. And also, I want to make a point. I think this falls up under First Amendment if he's just talking about it. Remember, you got freedom of speech. So him being a so-called conservative, he don't forget he has freedom of speech. Now, if that picture was in public domain, all bets is off. You can't say anything. And to say this was a war, Corey just hit the nuclear button and ended it. Boom.
Right. Real talk, man. Thanks for giving us a call. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's going What's on, up, Dwann? homie? Man, yeah, I'm from
I got two
Louisiana,
people on the
man.
phone. I don't know which one was first. So somebody say first. Whoever say first got it.
First,
Well, you got it. Go ahead.
yeah, homie, I'm from Louisiana, man. I'm just saying like this here, man. Anton Daniels, man, he FAFO, man. You don't come to a war with stipulations. You don't battle OG like Corey or mess with Craig and brothers from LA like that and don't think you ain't finna get some put up on your head like that. He came there being a rage baiter, and now he finding out, and now he want to cry about it. You know what I'm saying? Put your big boy pants on, homie,
Yep.
and stop all that bullshitting that you doing. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what you wanted. Now you get what you wanted, and I don't respect no black person sitting up here taking Antoine Daniels' side because Corey told him. You know what I'm saying? What about the black people? He said, I'm a Christian first. I'm not black. So, hey, man, look, y'all supporting somebody that's going against your own people.
Yep.
And when it gets to war, everybody get in the war. Wife, kids, everybody. This dude is a comedian. You got to realize that. He's a comedian, so it ain't no limit to where he going to go. He going to give everybody the smoke. So, you know what I'm saying? All the supporters of Antoine Daniels, man, y'all know what y'all can do, man. Y'all really ain't no real, y'all ain't no real niggas no way. That's all I got to say, homie.
Real talk. Thanks for giving us a call. Yeah, the way he talk about black people, I ain't got nothing for him. All them black kids he talk about, no. Anton Daniels talks about a lot of black people. He talks about a lot of black people. So hey, don't play that black angle now. The angle if you're gonna play that black angle and support Anton Daniels, you should have done that before this video. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's going on? It's Najee from New Jersey. You know what, like Dwann, see, I was born in like '78. So, you know, I'm trying to figure out the angle of like some of the callers that's calling, and even with the let's go outside. You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of like from the era, or I'm not even gonna say I'm from the era, but the guy that I came up with, it was kind of always on site. So if we were going to do something, we would have tore the studio up. I didn't have to go outside. And let's go outside is equivalent to don't hold me back. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? So I'm just trying to understand how are y'all equating let's go outside to somebody violating your personal space. You know what I'm saying? So when I used to, I mean, I was rough around the edges years ago. But when I wanted to like really, get it with somebody, and let's just say the guy selling wolf tickets, I would get in their face and I'll start poking their chest. I'm chastising, I'm talking to them. I am violating your personal space. So I'm just kind of where are these dudes from? And I'm just, because I don't want to generalize, but the self-esteem of black people, and you know what I mean, and I'm talking about the ones who have called and defend Anton Daniels, used to be extremely low. When this man deliberately disrespected black people, you siding with somebody that disrespected black people, and Corey Holcomb is speaking up for black people. So I'm just really trying to understand the level of like low self esteem of
You
mainly
know
the two
what?
callers that
I'm
call.
glad what you just said, but you know what? I don't think you can understand the level of low self esteem. And let me tell you why. Because what I don't respect, to me, it reaches a level of I can't even respect you because you cannot play the black angle. He's talking about a black child angle in support of somebody who spent their career talking about black people and their children. Because when you talk about these kids, and what is it? Don't he like using kids in Chicago as an example to prove his point? They got
You
parents.
know what?
If a kid in
Yeah,
Chicago does something, or Baltimore or whatever, he's gonna bring them up and talk about them and use that child as an example as to what's wrong with black people. So
exactly.
if you can
Go ahead,
if you
sorry.
can watch that, you can't play the angle of this is a black child. You already lost that angle, homie. But go ahead.
Right. And even people calling up here trying to make it seem like he's an intellectual. Those are
Man.
very
Oh my
basic,
God.
elementary arguments. Even arguments when he talk about, well, Africans sold other Africans into slavery. Africans didn't have the concept of race that we have today. There wasn't flat blackness in Africa.
Still
You
ain't.
were dealing with nations. You were dealing with tribes. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying? Even when he also they use this argument, well, the Republicans are the ones that freed the slaves. But then you have speech after speeches of Abraham Lincoln said if he can save the Union without freeing the slaves, he would. And white people change political parties like socks.
Yeah,
That's just
like
Republican is just a
he brought
title.
up the Republican thing. He didn't bring up the fact that the Republicans stopped slavery for economic reasons, not for race relations. And
And how the Republicans sold us out and basically left black people to fend for
twice.
themselves and pulled out of the South
Twice.
after Reconstruction.
After
What do you like?
Reconstruction,
What are you talking about?
after Reconstruction, and then again during the Great Depression, and that's what got black people to vote for FDR, a Democrat. The Democrats between 1 part he didn't bring up, the Democrats between FDR and JFK. The reason what got black people over there was they offered tangibles. FDR under the direction of A. Philip Randolph reintegrated jobs in federal jobs. Black people got tangible
Right,
money under FDR. The black middle class got, even though a lot of our jobs are left out of the New Deal, enough of our jobs are in it to it built up our middle class. We got something from the
right,
Democrats for 20 years, and that's the reason why we went Democrat.
exactly.
And the
And
Democrats stopped giving us stuff. It's not that if we stupid or nothing like that. The Republicans ain't offering nothing, and he wants us to turn our ass cheeks up just because they're not the Democrats. No, sir.
and let's be clear. Most of the Republicans that that were back in the '60s that were most of the Democrats during the 1960s they turned to Republicans. You know what I'm saying? So like Strom Thurmond and all them guys, like yeah, they were. So basically, your racist Democrats basically switched over and became Republicans. So what are you like? You gotta tell the whole story.
Real talk,
You
man.
know what I'm saying?
I gotta take this next
All
call,
right,
my brother, man. Thanks for this call.
right.
I usually don't take unknown callers, but what's the name where you calling from?
Yeah. Anton Daniels is a tether. That's why he against black people. He's a tether, and that's the problem. So if y'all want to let that tether come in and turn y'all against y'all own race, then go ahead and do that. But just to let you know, he's a tether. That's why he's against us. Period.
Real
That's
talk.
all I got to say, Dwann. It's open.
I got you again. You have a good one. Yeah. Yeah, it's when it's up, it's up. When it's up, it's up. I personally, I don't make content attacking any group but Anton makes his content attacking people, and he doesn't care about the age of the people that he attacks. That's not being protective of your family. That's not being protective of your family. I'm gonna shut the phone lines down now because I gotta get up out of here. Rocky got to go on a walk. Hold on. Come on, Rocky. Rocky got to go on a walk, so I gotta get up out of here. I got a show tonight. I gotta get on stage tonight. But I think when I get off stage tonight, I'm gonna come back and do a late night live with y'all. All right. And then I'll come back and do a late night live with y'all. What's up, Rocky? You ready to go take a shit? Say hi to the people. Say hi to people before we get up out of here. Tell these people, Rocky, at the end of the day, don't start none, won't be none. Did Corey go too far? I wouldn't have done. I wouldn't have talked about the family, but who am I? I'm also not in this situation. My show wasn't encroached upon. I didn't have nobody going across the internet for the last week saying that they whipped my ass and this and that. So what I would do is irrelevant. I'm not in the situation. That's how I look at it. And I look at it as before I pick a fight with somebody, if you study them, this shows you how not intellectual Anton Daniels is. He's not a very smart person because his words, he said he studied. Well, brother, you only studied half the test because you shouldn't just study to see where you benefit. You should also study where you can have a cost. And you know what smart people do? Smart intellectuals, they have a cost benefit analysis before they make their moves. What's the cost benefit analysis? And you analyze the cost and the benefit to what you're about to do. I'm going to benefit and make $1 million off of Corey Holcomb. That's the benefit. Now, what's the cost to the $1 million you're going to make off Corey Holcomb? That's all I'm saying. Whether y'all would have done what Corey did or not is completely irrelevant. Just make sure as you move through life, you give and you do a cost benefit analysis of any move you plan on making. You make sure you do that. What's the cost? They always say you got to pay the cost to be the boss. BB King told you that. Snoop Dogg told you that. It's a cost to be the boss.
You must be crazy, baby. You just gotta be out of your mind.
You got to be crazy, baby. You just got to be out of your mind. BB King, goddammit. I'm paying the cost to be the boss. It's a cost to being the boss, y'all. And James Brown's too. All of this is gonna get taken out at the end.
1, 2. Look at me. Paid the cost to be the boss.
All right. Y'all have a good one. We out.